excited with our special guest speaker today.
Yes.
And of course, collaborator. And what? Well, you'll find out very, very soon.
That's right, because we are pumped about this because we think it's a pretty good giveaway you guys are getting today, just to find out a little bit more about what?
Horses!
Of course, because that's what we do around here. So before we get rolling, let's go into our regular rigmarole, if you will, so that we can get into the fun stuff. So that first piece is that hashtag, Holy Jumpin' Tuna Fish. And we are going to be expecting some of these today, people, because it is fun. It's exciting. We're super pumped about this rollout. So
oh my goodness, so exciting.
The next hashtag we have is that hashtag of We Are Life Changers. And again, that is not just us. That is you. That is your horses. That is every single one of us who has the opportunity to change a life for the better every single day that we live and breathe. And that really does boil down.
Kindness.
Social media people, this is for you. It's kindness. Be kind, people. Spread it out there like glitter. Whatever you got to do, spread some kindness today, because we always like to keep that piece that we have the opportunity to change somebody's life for the better every day. And then, of course, sorry. No,
sorry.
There. Nope. Still other way.
I gotta go away from the camera.
So remember to share this out. Not only for the fact that you get something free out of all of this, but also we want to share out some information that's going to be coming to you today, because again, we are all about the horse around here, people.
Always about the horse.
So
number one,
if you don't know of this group that we're about to talk to yet, then you want to know. So make sure you are sharing this out. All the horsey lovers need this piece as well.
Because sharing is what, Charles?
It's caring, everybody. Sharing is caring. That's right. For those of you who are watching as well, please do let us know who you are and where you come from, because we like to know who we're talking to. It always makes us feel better. And then, of course, if you do catch this on replay, throw in that replay as well, because we will come back and say hello to you too. So without further ado, well, let's tell you a bit first.
Yeah. Introduce ourselves?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm clicking all sorts of buttons here. All right. So first and foremost, who we are. My name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning.
Oh, and she didn't say it, so that's funny. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmack, and I am the founder of the Equine Connection, master instructor, helping people globally around the world do what it is that we do. And that is the greatest job in the world, because why? We literally get to work with horses, smell them in. But the best part of working with the horses is to be able to help the humans, non-horse people, to be able to move forward in our cool, amazing, results-oriented programs. But the best part of our certification at the Equine Connection is we're all about the number one thing is the welfare of the horse. It's not just health. It is the entire component of the horse, understanding their language, their world, and their culture. So the more that we can all gain in the world and the knowledge of the horse, we are so much better as horse people, because remember, people, we brought the horses to our world. Now it's our responsibility to help them understand. We hear, we understand, and we're going to do what's best for them. So our next beautiful guest speaker, she's a top to us, because we're like, we love her because she's all about the foundation of that welfare.
Absolutely. The lovely Gayle Ecker is who we'll be bringing in here from Equine Guelph. And when we first met her, she asked us this beautiful question that we think about regularly. And it's, does good health equal good welfare? And it's a fantastic question. Really think about it, people, because so many of us get stuck in the idea that it's, teeth, feet, but there is so much more to the welfare of the horse. And we are so pleased to have the director from Equine Guelph here, Gayle Ecker, to join us here today.
Woo, woo.
Let's throw her in.
That's right. Hands up, because we got the expert. There we
go. And I see we have some people on here too. Penny, Tanya, Jillian. Good to see everybody joining us.
Welcome, everybody.
There we go.
There. Now we're all set to go.
Hello, Gayle.
Hello. So pleased to be here and joining you. This is a fun day.
It is a fun day. And of course, even what's going to be happening today with all those fun facts that have to do with the horse. But
that's right.
Before we get started, why don't you introduce yourself and what your priority is and what you do to help these pony poems globally around the world?
Okay. Well, thank you. So I'm director of Equine Guelph, and I was one of the people that got Equine Guelph started 20 years ago now. So this has been our 20th anniversary year, so we're very pleased about that. And yeah, it's all about health, welfare, and safety. That's our mandate. We stick to it. And so that comes in a variety of ways through our program. We take money, donations, plus industry funding to support the Equine Guelph research program. And again, that's on health and welfare of horses. And so money is allocated on industry priorities every year. And as you would expect, we love to get the results back from that. And then that gets funneled into our communications program so that people in the industry can learn. As soon as we get those results, we ship them out to our industry, and they can learn how to better care for horses as a result of new research, which is a great, just a wonderful thing to have. And then the next step for that is then we take all of that information and every year we update our education programs. So one of the very cool things about Equine Guelph now, considering we were just this little bitty entity that started 20 years ago at the University of Guelph, and literally there was just me in the building for several months until we got it going. And then Susan Raymond joined me, and then I built the staff from there. But we now have an online equine education program that was the first university Senate-approved course in the world. And we started that, if you can believe it, in 2002. And we have 19 courses now that attract anywhere from 900 to 1,000 students per year from over 40 different countries.
It's amazing.
That is super exciting. I want to do fireworks. I want to do everything because, whoa, this is amazing. Or balloons. We can do balloons too. They pop.
That's the button I hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Betty. There it
so,
is.
There we go.
Yeah, pretty cool for a Canadian university to be attracting students from over 40 different countries. And we're the leading online equine education program out there for Senate-approved certificates and a diploma. So that was the first thing we got going. And then we asked our industry what did they want and what was their blockage for education. That was one thing that we really wanted to learn from our industry. And what they told us was, not unexpectedly, time and money. And so, yeah, we have to be very careful about where we're putting our money when we have horses, because we have responsibilities for caring. But many people still wanted to learn more. And so in 2015, we developed the horse portal. And on that horse portal are short courses. So there's I don't know what we're up to now, something like 24 different courses now that are 1 or 2 weeks, and they're under $100 or around $100. And some of them are on demand, and others you do as a facilitated with an instructor and a guest speaker. So again, we're trying to give lots of options for horse people to try and make this an easy fit into their life so that they can continue learning about horses.
Oh my goodness. This is the accolades. Holy Toledo's this is phenomenal. So where did this passion of yours come from to be able to help all of us people globally around the world to understand the horses at a deeper level? It's not just a horse. It's not just a toy. It's not just
a tool,
a thing to use. What made you decide to get in with all of this passion?
I'm not sure there was sort of one point, but I think my mother threw me up on a horse before I could walk, so I may not have had a choice. So that got me started with horses. But in kindergarten, I had my own little pony. And he was dapple gray little Shetland. Loved the big floppy mane that you couldn't see his eyes. And very sadly, our neighbors threw corn stalks into the field, and we didn't know about it. And so they cleaned out their garden and threw all of their corn stalks in, thinking that they were doing a lovely job for our horses. Well, guess who was stiff-legged the next morning?
Oh,
no.
So that left a big impression on me that, wait a minute, the adults here don't know what they're doing, right? Which for a kid, that's something that is quite shocking to a child, because the adults know everything, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that certainly had an impact on me. But over the years, I was much more interested in always the student And so I loved learning new things. And to this day, I have always had a day where I've learned something new about horses. And to me, that's critical because, as you say, the horse has given us so much. Like, history has literally been written on the back of a horse. There is no other animal that has done for us what the horse has done for our society, even today. Today. So, as you said, it's not a tool. This is a sentient being. And the new research is just really, really cool, exciting, fun, about sentience in horses and how we can train them better. And there's a lot more going on in those horses' brains and their whole bodies for behavior and learning ability. And we just need to be better humans with our horses in order to bring that out. And we do that through knowledge.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely right. And, even through our certification, which I'm so excited that we partner just because of the welfare of the horse. That's just so beautiful and beneficial to so many. Mm-hmm. But, the one thing that as we're training our facilitators, they are always, oh my gosh, I just didn't know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need to go back and apologize to my horse. And, I always say to them, no matter what, though, we weren't there to learn that knowledge. Yeah, this is why it's so imperative that we continually put in that effort to know, because you don't know what you don't know. But by crappy, when you do know, that's when you're going to make the change for the horse.
And it's your responsibility to share that information as well, right?
And we don't know what we don't know, and that's dangerous. But when we think we know what we don't know, that's equally as dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's one of the biggest challenges we have right now in our horse industry, people who know.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
And so we see that all the time. Facebook abounds by it. There's experts at every corner when the keyboard warriors come out.
Yep.
And the thing is, science changes things. Mm-hmm. So what I thought I knew about founder, about colic, way back then, is not what we should be doing today, because the job of science is to advance the knowledge and change it. Mm-hmm. So we have to keep that open mind. We have to allow ourselves to think, could I be wrong?
Yes.
Yep.
If we don't allow that, we won't learn, we won't move forward, and we're not going to be supporting welfare of our horses the best we can.
You're absolutely right.
We've coined a new piece around here where we've decided to say to ourselves and openly admit that we know nothing. When it comes, and we know a lot about horses, but when it comes to the grand scheme of things, to humble ourselves and say we know nothing at this point in the grand scheme of what we can know, that's what allows us to be humble and keep on taking in new information, new research, new pieces to expand our knowledge anymore. Because if you think you're done, if you think you know it all, you are doing a disservice to this industry and a disservice to your horses in just having that ignorant view, really is what it is.
It is.
So we have to keep our minds open to learning new things and understanding more about our horses as the research comes in.
Yeah. And horses give us so much. Like, they're one of the few animals that just continues to give and give and give. And if we give them the right environment and we treat them right and we learn to communicate and let them communicate back to us, because that's a big thing when it comes to pain or confusion. We don't allow the horse to communicate back to us as a two-way street.
Right.
So those are all things that over the years I've learned so much and have so much more to learn. But those are such important concepts that, I wish we could just sort of spread that out and let the water flow over all the horse owners and let them absorb this knowledge, because it would make such a difference for the horse.
So you all heard that, right? So that means it's your job. You have to be accountable for your horse and keep spreading it to your neighbors, to a friend even to an enemy You have to keep spreading it out there so we can all help this horse to feel safe and be at a different place that we weren't doing before. But now we can, because we have that. When we had met, and I don't even know, Gayle, how many years ago was that when we met about collaborating?
A few years now.
It has been a few years, but
say like 6 or 7 years, maybe.
One thing that still stays in my brain, and I think you and I have questioned this a few times, I remember you gave us a stat once that showed us if we don't do something more in our horse industry in helping people to become more aware of them, we're actually going to have a problem. Do you remember that fact you gave to us? A stat?
Yeah, I'm not sure which stat it was, but yes, we at one point the numbers were showing that within the next 10 years, 30% were going to age out of the industry, and only 17% were coming in as youngsters.
Yeah.
And so there's been lots of other clubs and things that have looked at projected lines of, membership, and it's going down. We see a lot more horse farms on the market than we see new horse farms being built, and they all disappear under housing. And so, how many times have you driven up and down roads that you're sitting there going, oh my God, there's houses there.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things we have to do is make sure that we encourage people to get into the industry, youth in particular, but help them to get into the horse industry in a way that supports what we now call our social license to operate. And for anyone who doesn't know what social license to operate, that's basically the public giving us permission to be involved with horses. And never doubt that they can take it away. Because we're seeing that with horse racing, right? With the breakdowns at Santa Anita, that had huge impact on racing. We have seen greyhound racing virtually disappear in the US, and it's only in a couple of countries now, Ireland and a few others. And again, it's because the public didn't like what they saw. And we don't have the decathlon because of what happened, right? So, pentathlon. No, pentathlon.
Yeah.
So that one now, again, because of public uproar and pressure, that's yet another one that has disappeared. And we do need to, every one of us, there's cell phones everywhere, and every one of us can contribute and enhance horse welfare and social license to operate, or we can just be, in our own little world and think it doesn't matter to us. And that has a negative impact on every one of us in the industry.
Sure does. It sure does. Wow. I was just thinking of a TikTok that we had done. We're always trying to educate people, giving them more knowledge, something to think on and absorb and understand in a horse's world and in their language and in their culture. Well, horses don't slap each other, right? They don't. They don't even have the appendage to do so. Yeah. So it was, just again, giving that knowledge that we don't slap horses, like literally, whoa. Like it went viral, but Gayle, they were some nasty human beings.
My
out
horse
there.
loves it.
My horse loves it. Yeah, like you just desensitize them to it. Yeah. Right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's the, there is that phrase, and I see that's in the chat. When we know better, we do better. But sometimes we don't, because we want to hang on to things. We don't want to admit that what I'm doing is wrong. And we come up with all kinds of justifications. I know my horse, he's just being bad today. He's not in pain, because that's one of the biggest things is that's a big area of research going on right now, is what they're calling facial grimace score, or behaviors that indicate pain. Sue Dyson is one. And there's other ones, Gemma Pearson and various other researchers, who are looking at how can we better read what's going on with horses, because they don't have the facial expressions that we do. So if we smile, we frown, we look sad, we scrunch up our faces, but horses do have their own facial expressions. And we really need to start paying more attention to them and valuing them. So if that horse suddenly is, its eye is squinted and you can see the tightness in the jaw and it doesn't want to go through the gate, well, maybe there's a reason. It's not pull up the whip or kick them, or it's like, wait a minute, let's just stop and ask, could there be an issue here? And is this horse trying to tell me something? And so we've got a big uphill battle on that in many sectors.
It's so true. And, it's that listening piece. And again, this is why horses they are magical. And I have to use that magical piece because You know, every time we're training our facilitators, we always say we should be in awe. And I don't use the word awe too often in this lifetime because I don't find much that is in awe, as in, you know, the people area in what we see around us, because like housing and all of that stuff, it's that same idea. But we should be in awe with these creatures and being able to see what it is they're saying to us, because it keeps us in the moment. It actually kind of, well, it doesn't kind of, it grounds us to being connected in ourselves in that moment. So we're not thinking of future, we're not thinking of past, but they ground us so beautifully. But again, we still have to be in an awe piece. We can't ever take advantage. And I know it's hard as humans because some days we're in a rush. Some days we just need to get things done. I get that. But if we can at least be self-aware enough to say 95% of the time, look at that magnificent creature, be in your awe, because if you be in your awe, you're there with them and you hear them in a completely different way.
And you want to do better.
You
right?
do.
Yeah. And I love Sarah's comment here too. I went out and literally apologized to each of my horses and swept them. And what I learned better than some of my old practices. It wasn't abuse, but also not their language. And that's right. We aren't meaning to do wrong, most people, but you still have to adapt. And as new information comes out, take that information and apply it rather than being so closed-minded that we're just, well, it's been working.
Yes.
It's not really the way that we need to advance.
No. And understanding how horses learn. I mean, I was an educator prior to coming in as director of Equine Guelph, and one of my responsibilities was understanding how my students learn. And they learn in very different ways. And some are very active, and I did gymnastics, so I was a coach for gymnastics for many years. So some of my gymnasts, they just wanted to try it on their own. And some of them wanted me to give them a book. Read about it, and then they'd try it. And others just wanted me to make them go through the motion. So with spotters, we would actually make them do a walkover or cartwheel or whatever, just so that they could physically feel that motion first. And those are all different ways of learning. And that's as important with horses.
Yep.
We've got horses that have different learning styles, but horses themselves have their own learning style. And so first of course, we have to understand the horse's learning. So equine cognition, if we can study that, and there's some really good books out there now that are evidence-based, so it's not one person's opinion. This is based on evidence, and it's been peer-reviewed, and so there's different sources for that. The International Society for Equitation Science is one of those good places to get started because it's all science-based. And so there's various other ones, Paul McGreevy, Andrew McLean, they've got some good books and things out. And we, of course, have an equine behavior course that we offer online, along with an advanced behavior course. And yeah, all of that research that we've pulled in from wherever around the world that's been peer reviewed and published and offered by experts, we try and put all of that information into our courses because we just feel it's so critical for people to learn that. And I think one of the coolest things right now is the concept of telos. So telos is T-E-L-O-S, which is the essence of being a horse.
Oh.
And we have to understand that. Can we understand the essence of being a whale? Can we understand the essence of being an earthworm? But because we use horses, we have to understand the essence of what it is to be a horse. And
Gosh!
yeah, telos. So, I mean, they're a herd animal, right? They get safety in the herd. They're a prey animal, which means there's monsters all around you. Yeah. And so if you understand those two things, that really is a big start. Mm-hmm. They need to move. So again, horses for 55 million years, and we've only domesticated them for the last 5,000. And we've only really kept them intensively over the last 200, maybe a bit longer, if you take the Romans into account on that. But essentially, they were meant to be outside, having small meals frequently, 16 hours a day, moving around for 24 hours with their herd. And those are all things that if we take a step back and start from that point of view, what is a horse? a lot of the other stuff like feeding, management, like you suddenly go, oh my God, that's why they get colic.
Yes.
Yeah, it all makes sense when you figure out what the basis of horse is.
Exactly.
What is a horse? Yeah, what is the world to a horse? And then a lot of that stuff does fall right into place once you truly understand that.
My goodness, I know everybody's going to want to take all these courses that you have to offer, because your courses are only for a set time as well. Like, it's not like you can just join in anytime you wish. You put them up, and then you've got to register for them so that you're ready for that time frame. So, wow, we got to make sure that people know how to get registered for these, because I'm excited about the behavior one too.
And they are really well done. I have to say, I've taken a couple, and they are really well done courses that keep you engaged, and it's a different way of doing things, but I really enjoyed them. And I'm not an online learner. So for those of you, I don't like online courses, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah, well, and I think the big thing is what we try and do is combine that. Because again, as an educator, I know there's different ways of learning. And so some people are comfortable in an online course, but for different reasons. So, for example, we say, go out to your barn and, go visit your neighbors and look at their arena, or, just things like that that get you off the computer and into the world of the horse, and now start putting that knowledge into place. So we very much try and do that practical and applied aspect of it. It's not all theory. You start there, of course, because you have to start with knowledge. But at the end of the day, it's okay. Now that you're going out to the barn, how can you apply this for your horses?
That, and I think that's always proof in the pudding. Now apply it. So this is what has been shown to you, what has been taught to you, but now go do it. Go see it, go watch your herd. Even watching the herd alone implements so many of the things that we are learning and how to apply them. Watch them so you understand what that means to them, so that we can bring it into not human form, but understanding it in their world, how we can now
implement.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm like, got no word and no what coming.
Yeah, so we can implement it the proper way.
Yes.
Now, I know we could sit here and talk about horses forever and a day, but we do have to get into the actual reason that we are here today. Is we have rolled out, in combination with Equine Connection and Equine Guelph, a fun new book, which we are very pumped about, called Fun Facts and Why It Matters. And it is a collaboration between the two of us of fun facts that people actually submitted to us. And Guelph did all of it. Well, I think it was just you, Gayle, that did all of the fact checking on these as well. But we've put this little ebook together, and we are pretty pumped about rolling it out because they are fun facts. It's cool things to know. And this helps to, again, spread some information and bring about that horse welfare for our beautiful pony poems.
Right. Yeah. So we're delighted that this came up as the concept that we could share. And it's something that we love doing in our kids program called Equimania. And it's just like, let's just get them interested. And, that did you know approach sometimes is just like, no, I didn't know that, And so we had a lot of fun with this. We really did. There's cool stuff about horses. That's all there is to it.
And I think my most favorite piece, because I like to know for sure that this is a for sure fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember talking to Dr. Stephen Peters about, because I see this on Facebook all the time, again, in the social media world, that a horse can hear a human heartbeat this much away, this many feet or yards or whatever. And then I actually specifically asked him about it because I was like confused. What is the number? And he said, in actual reality, I don't have any research or factual piece on what that number is, but people get carried away and they put it up and then they think it's real in a fact, but you made sure
it is.
Everything is an actual true fact.
And why?
Yeah.
I love the why part of it too, because it's not just like, hey, here's the fact. There's the bits and pieces behind it, the guts of why it is a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one thing I'm definitely passionate about, the why. Like, why does it matter? Because again, we throw out the fact that the horse is the biggest eyeball of all land animals. Okay, great. But why does it matter?
Yes.
And it matters for the horse's welfare, for their safety, and for our safety. So that's all really important stuff for us to understand that visual of horses, because when they are walking up to a horse trailer, they see a black cave.
Yeah.
Why would they walk into a black cave when you're a prey animal and there's coyotes around? I mean, that makes absolutely no sense, right?
Right.
And we're there behind them.
Yeah, with the broom or whatever. Yeah. So to me, that was the important thing. It matters because, horses have blind spots. They have to be able to feel safe and look around and have free head movement so that they can see all 360 degrees, because otherwise they've got blind spots. And again, once you understand that, that can change a whole lot of what you do and how you work with your horse.
Absolutely.
Huge.
As it should.
Yeah.
The more you know.
As it should. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yes, I think it's the two-part component of that with our partnership was so important is, yep, these are cool and interesting facts, but you need to know this because.
Yeah.
Here's the reason.
So exciting.
So
exciting.
And for all of you joining us, we are giving you the opportunity to get this book. So we're very excited about this, but we need a little interaction from you here, people. We're going to get you to throw in fun facts in the comments. And then once you do that, you will get a message from us as to how you're going to get this fantastic little factoid book. And it's just an online ebook, but it is a really cool read. We're pretty excited about it all together.
You want it. Anyone who has a horse, anyone who wants to be a horse owner, you want this guide. It is absolutely stunning. It is, again, you got the whys behind it. And I think that's what opens us up to understanding more of that horse's welfare, because now we got the why it would apply to us, not just horses got the largest eye in the mammal world. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
But again, it's all of those pieces that come behind the facts. So you want it, you want to share it. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. And I see lots of people are throwing in fun facts and you're already getting the replies back. So that's fantastic. So you'll be able to click on the links and that sort of thing in the message that you get to be able to get all of the info about how you're going to get this book. And it's a blast. You guys will really, really enjoy it.
And seriously, it took them hours and hours. And I have to say, like, I was part of the meeting and everything. And so is the other team on Gayle's side. But, putting it all together and designing it and then checking all these facts. This was, I think, last year.
Yeah.
We had a meeting to come up with this idea. And it took that many months and weeks to make sure, again, it was all correct, because there's nothing false in this thing.
Nope. Yeah, it was quite the undertaking.
It was.
And we can have 5 volumes of it too, right?
Oh, easy. Easy.
Yes.
We'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll make a volume 2 in a year.
Volume 2 for next year.
Yeah, maybe each volume is a year longer. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. I do feel very blessed to be able to partner with Guelph, because we have so much respect for what you guys do for the welfare. The welfare guide on its own is stunning. And if you guys don't have that, definitely go check it out on the Guelph website as well to get that piece, because it's phenomenal. But we are really, really blessed to be partnered with you guys. We know that you don't pick the people, just let anybody come into your circle. And so we're happy to be in there with you, keeping the welfare of the horse paramount in all that we do, because that's really what the goal is at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. So yes, it is about health, welfare, and safety, and evidence-based. That's sort of our guiding principle for everything that we do.
I love that.
Yes.
Hey, I just have one I just want to throw out there. Hey, for the Vibrisa, the whiskers being shaved. Now, this is huge, and we give your book, the guide, away wherever we possibly can, because it's such a valuable book. And again, knowing and understanding the why piece, why it would matter. But can you touch on that piece at all? Because I really find this a piece that is really lacking still in our industry.
It is, because we shave it off for cosmetic reasons. And I was in the Arab show world, and we trimmed their ears and took all their whiskers off because we thought it looked prettier for the show. But yeah, we'd never do it to a cat, right? I mean, taking those whiskers off a cat, we'd never do that. And yet the same thing, the same function. It is incredibly sensitive. The slightest little touch, they can sense electricity in the fence just by getting close to it, right? They can tell the difference between grasses when they're going along and in the dark. Think of that too. They're grazing in the dark. And those whiskers help them know where they are in their stable, what weeds are in front of them, that kind of thing. So those whiskers give them a lot of information. And so we're essentially taking away one of their senses that they use for survival purposes. And I don't have the article here, but there was one that was down in the States that they looked at thoroughbred babies that were in the sales ring. And they found that they had more injuries on their face and their heads after they'd shaved their whiskers off because they're in an unknown place.
Makes total sense.
So the person that was writing that was saying, hey, we have to stop taking the whiskers off because aesthetically, that really is not a good ethical or moral decision for humans. I think it's pretty is not good enough to justify doing that to a horse any more than I would never crop a tail. And I certainly, again, today, I will never take claws off a cat because it's not declawing, it's actually amputating a digit.
Yeah.
And again, once we understand what that means to the animal and what pain it can cause them and the rest of it, it changes our perspective. And so it's the same thing. Again, we're back to that T-loss of the horse. What's it mean to the horse? And isn't that more important to the horse? But we've got a long way to go on that because there will be people all over the place going, I'm shaving the whiskers off my horse no matter what because it looks prettier.
Yep. It's so true. But I do love you, Gayle. And it's pure love coming your way. And if I could press the emoji for love, you got it, baby.
Yeah.
That's my emoji.
Yeah, there it is.
It's beautiful.
Well, and we appreciate the knowledge that you do continue to share as well. And we do have the website up here too for anybody who wants to go check out Equine Guelph. There's a link, I believe, to the horse portal on that page as well. So you can check out their courses, go registered. Their Facebook page. Really, you want to interact with this group because they are for the horse. And
exactly.
That's what we need to be supporting.
Follow them everywhere you go. And remember to share the information. And, here's going back to kindness again. When we know something more about the horse and the why, you don't have to go into someone who's shaving the whiskers off a horse and say, oh my gosh, you're so mean. Yeah. All you have to say is, did you know I just learned something new about the vibrissae or the whiskers, and give them the information. Nothing has to be mean about sharing the beauty of the welfare of the horse. They just didn't know maybe before. And if it is one person who is that person who says, I don't give a crap, it's okay. You still did your due diligence to be accountable because this is what we have to be now. If we're all in it for the welfare of the horse, you are now officially accountable. And it is your job to completely keep spreading the word about them.
Yeah. And because for me, I can't not try.
No.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, because not trying, what have we achieved?
It's closing our eyes. It's having that blind, like I just won't, if I don't say anything, I don't have to worry about it. But it's not true because you know too much.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is our responsibility.
So we had a conversation the other day with the barn owner about radios and the volume of radios in the barn. And there was a barn that I was at that I would never keep my horse there because they had the radio on full volume and it was too loud for me. And when we think about, again, did you know with horses, they are so much better at hearing than what humans are. And they hear higher pitch than they hear lower pitch. So you think about how loud that is for us. And now think of that running in the barn at night. All right. So again, they have to hear to feel safe. So if they hear coyotes outside or whatever, they want to hear that. That's part of how they feel safe, is knowing that they can hear. But also, horses suffer from sleep apnea. And we know how important that is for humans, not only for our mental faculties, but also our health. So, how's that impact on horses in the barn if the radio is always loud and therefore potentially stressful? And especially if it's playing overnight at loud volumes. What impact can that have on an animal that wants to hear to feel safe, but can hear so much better than we can?
Yeah.
It's so true.
And not hear the things that they need to be able to hear to feel safe. Just,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think that's another way to also be very present with your horse and understanding their world. It's a way for us, even as humans, again, we can be so much more connected and self-aware when we don't have all the other sound around. Like, that's just, to me, like that noisy stuff that doesn't add to our grounding or our calmness of a being, because when we don't have that music on or that radio on, you hear the bird, you hear the trees, you know, the leaves moving, and it's like you hear the horses breathe through their nose only. Like, it's such cool pieces to be connected to when we don't have all that other sound. But then again, now you know the why. It's like, no. Now, I'm not saying maybe a harp might be a beautiful thing to bring in here and there. Like,
not while they're sleeping.
No, but not when they're sleeping, right? But, you know, music, not saying it's all bad. It's just like, why do we need all that sound and commercials and things just yipping, meaning nothing, taking away that, that safety?
And anyone who's ever had the honor of going out and watching wild horses,
I did.
and just sit there and just watch and watch and watch. They are a quiet species. Like, yes, they get noisy when it's breeding time. Yes, they get noisy when a newcomer, you know, is trying to steal the mares or whatever. So they're absolutely, they get very active and they like to play. But by and large, they spend a lot of time just being quiet with each other. So again, it's just something more for us to think about. You know, what does the world of the horse really mean? And generally speaking, it's quiet.
Yeah. I love that we've got comments on here. I'm learning so many new things. Well, make sure that you comment fun facts. You learn even more too.
Fun facts. Put it all in there.
That's exactly right. So make sure to throw that in to comment fun facts, and we'll get the book sent out to you. And again, I'm going to throw up Equine Guelph on here because we really do want you to check out their website and figure out more ways that you can be involved in learning about the welfare of the horse, plus their short courses and all the different other programming that they offer. If you have kids that you want to get interested in the horses, their Equimania Kids program is phenomenal.
Wow.
Really
and it's
amazing.
Free, isn't it, Gayle? Isn't Equimania free?
Equimania is free. So if they go to thehorseportal.ca, they'll not only see the Equimania program there under programs, but we also have free horse owner tools where you can learn about colic risk. You can learn about decreasing biosecurity risks. You can learn about the code of practice that, you know, supports all our horses. You can learn about mares and foaling. There's a breeding one there about the mare and foal. So under horse owner tools, there's a whole bunch of those that we offer all for free.
And even the kids part, I got to tell you, it's pretty fun. Like, I did go and play my way through it, and it's a lot of fun. So as an adult, feel free to go try that part out too.
Yes, and Equimania is dear and near to my heart because, again, it's about kids and getting them into our industry and knowing that this is a sentient being that you can have a relationship with. It's not a bicycle. And so, you know, we need to care for it and think about it as a sentient being that, you know, wants love and care just the way that anyone else, they want a secure environment.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, I don't know about all you guys, but I would say that this has been a very informative live, and we were just going to talk to you about the book, but we learned all sorts of new things while we were here, because that's what happens when you talk to Gayle.
Which helps. We love it.
But we really do want you guys to throw in that fun facts, share this out, go check out Equine Guelph as well as the Equine Connection, because we are all still about getting that horse welfare piece out there to the world to make sure we are doing the best for these beautiful creatures,
sentient beings,
and keep sharing it out, people. It is our duty as horse lovers to make sure that we get the word out there as to how we can best take care of their welfare in every way possible.
Thank you so very much, Gayle. We beyond appreciate your time. We know you are the busiest woman in the world, but you always make the time when it comes to these beautiful pony pons.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure working with you. I'm so glad we had this concept, and the fact that we can share it with so many people now that through your website, through the horse portal and Equine Guelph, it just spreads out that information, and the horses will be the better for it.
Absolutely.
And a huge thank you to everybody who contributed fun facts as well, because we did roll this out in the first place. So thank you to all of you guys. They should have gotten their copy of this already for contributing, which is very exciting. But for all of you guys who are doing that, and stay tuned. You never know. Maybe part 2 will be coming one day. not right away, though. Calm down. We're very busy people right now. Thank you again so much, Gayle. We appreciate you taking the time. And again, keep spreading the word out there, everybody. Get the stuff out there and comment fun facts if you want more information on the book.
Everybody says many, many thank yous. So beautiful way.
Lovely. No, I appreciate everything. And take care of your horses, everybody. And always the student.
That's exactly
right.
I
like that.
Love it.
Okay. We'll see you later. Thank you so much.